What's up everyone? Welcome into the intermediate and advanced hangboard workout that we're going to do. If you're newer to hangboarding and you've come here by mistake, then go ahead and find in the show notes the link to our introductory hangboard protocol. This is a hangboard workout. So we're going to be incorporating some core and some push in between our rests. And we're going to be incorporating some stretches during our max hang protocols. We're going to show you how to take this from an intermediate to an advanced program. And the goal of this is to be a protocol that you can use as like a full climbing session replacement. So we'll work through a warm up, we'll get the tissue through its max hang, and then we'll even do a little bit of a burnout at the end. So I've said this before, but this is definitely one of those times where you're going to check out the show notes, or in this case, the website's even better because we'll have like a full Excel layout with all these tips, and it has everything broken down with the hold size, the length, the breaks, etc. So be sure to read all those notes very carefully before you go ahead and try this out on your own. So one of the most important factors is obviously getting a good warm up in. So we'll start with just a little bit of foam rolling. You can do some tendon gliding as well, and then we'll do some push-ups and pull-ups. But the foam rolling we'll do first. So I always like to just go along the back, keep your head supported with your hands. The reason we want to do this foam rolling is to, we're going to be in this extended position for a while, so it's good to start working on the extensibility of our spine. Make sure we're not too tight there. So you can also work on those reaches overhead. You can also go to your side a little bit and start to get on the lats. Just kind of get everything loosened up. Okay, so you guys are gonna hear me say effort level a bunch, like to kind of guide these different holds that we do. So effort level is basically your margin of error. So if I say it's a 10-second hold, plus or minus 3 seconds for the effort level, that basically means if you're within like the window of 7 to 13 seconds, then you're doing okay. If you fall outside of that window where you're at like 5 seconds and you fail, then it's too hard. Respect your body, make it a little bit easier. If on the other side, again, 10 seconds plus or minus 3, if you're falling like you're failing at 15 to 16 seconds, then it may be a little too easy. You may need to like go to a smaller ledge or increase the weight. Okay, so round one. For round one, it's gonna be a longer hold. It's gonna be a 30-second hold plus or minus like 5 to 10 seconds. So you have a larger window on this. You're gonna use a medium-sized hold, which will allow you to go into the open hand position. And we're gonna do just 2 sets of this, okay? This is kind of getting still into our warm-up for the rest of our holds. So we'll get right into it. As you do this, just make sure you're not dropping down here. Either think about just engaging your shoulders, keeping them down and back, or keeping your chest kind of forward and up. It's also important, don't look up at the hold. Just keep your head in a neutral position. All right, so for round two, we're gonna do these single arm recruitment hangs. Now this is gonna be done in a half cramp position with one arm. Each repetition is about 5 seconds long, and you're gonna do multiple repetitions, about 4 to 5 repetitions of it. We'll do 3 sets of this one. It's gonna be done on a smaller ledge. All right, so the reason for these recruitment hangs is essentially to kind of get like our pulley systems warmed up. It's using basically like your max effort as tolerated too. So it's a really awesome hold to like not only get warmed up, but continue like getting that neural network activated so we're ready when we do our harder hangs later. This is great because it's also basically, you pick the difficulty level. So as I mentioned earlier, it's over 5 seconds. So you'll get into your like half cramp position with one hand and you're pulling like you're trying to pull yourself off the ground, or you're pulling the board down to you. So don't start off as hard as you can. Start just by giving it like that little bit of effort And then your body will let you know how much effort you can actually tolerate. You're not trying to like go into a single arm hang. You're trying to be on a small enough ledge that will not allow you to do that. With each rep and each set, you'll notice you'll be able to pull a little bit harder and harder, but you should never be able to pull hard enough where you can lift off the ground. If you're just that strong and you might need to go to a slightly smaller ledge. But again, just be careful because you're still kind of getting your pulleys warmed up. All right, so round 3, this is essentially our third and kind of final like warm-up round for our hangs. The first round was helping to get like our shoulders in the right position and kind of get used to it while lightly warming up our hands. The second one was getting the neural system warmed up and ready for some of those. Now another component that we need is to get our flexor digitorum profundus, that like deep muscle that runs out to the fingertips, warmed up before we go into like a heavier crimp position. So we're gonna do that with a submax hang. We're gonna be adding a percentage of body weight and we're gonna be holding for 20 seconds. The margin of error, or the effort level for this, will be 5 seconds. So essentially your window will be 15 to 25 seconds on it. You're gonna do a medium-sized hold on this with both hands. We'll do 3 sets of it with, again, a 1.5 minute rest in between. All right, so we're gonna use about 15 to 25% body weight on this. Get it set up so we're ready to rock. And then we'll go to that kind of medium to large hold and we'll do our 20-second hang. Now this will be really important to make sure we have good control with our shoulders before we go into our next level. Now when you're using weight, especially for the first time, you want to make sure that you don't like kind of jump into the hold, because what you don't want to do is have the weight kind of swinging or your legs swinging when you settle into it. So you want to load that weight nicely so you settle in and you don't have that momentum carrying you forward. All right, so for round 4, this is going to be for both the intermediate and the advanced protocol. This is going to be our max hang. So we got all the warm up in that we need. We're going to get ready for those max hangs. We're going to do 4 sets of this, but if it's the first time you do it, I'd probably just stick to 3. As we go through this, we want to make sure that our hold time is 10 seconds with a margin of error for 3. So, that window of 7 to 13 seconds. We're going to add body weight, anywhere from like 25 to 50%. This protocol, like these max hangs, has been really well done and researched by Eva Lopez. They recommend, no more than the same thing, about 50 to 60%. So if you can do that much weight with your max hangs, you got to go to a little bit of a smaller ledge. And the most important part is that 3-minute rest. Now, if you're doing this and you feel like you need a longer break, that's fine. Up to a 5-minute rest period is fine, but absolutely rest for at least 3 minutes. It's going to help you stay safer as you go through these hangs. You don't want to just kind of like jump into it and swing the weight around. You want to start to carefully load in, make sure you feel comfortable, and then lock the shoulders, get them nice and secure, and then lift so you're not swinging. Good. So I hit 13 seconds there. I felt like I maybe could have gone a little bit longer, but again, that was my first set. I'm gonna choose to go through this 4 times. So I'm gonna judge whether I'm gonna increase my weight or not based on my 4th set. If all of a sudden, the second set, it's down to 13, the 3rd set, it's 10, and then the 4th set, it's at like 7, I'm probably not going to increase this weight the next time I do it. I want to respect that effort level and I want to stay as close to that 10-second window as I can. Go through the whole thing before you make that decision. right, so you're done with your max hangs. Your fingers are feeling pretty good, but they're not quite like as pumped as you'd want them to be. So what I would recommend is for that like 5th round to just kind of be like some pull-up variations. So you can go through and just get some different holds if you're like an intermediate level. Like here, I'm just gonna do a 3-finger, like kind of pull up with it. You can do some offset ones where you're like on more of a jug on one and a smaller on the other. And you can just do some pull-up variations. That way you kind of get like what the goal of this all is to have that kind of burnout, that real climbing session feeling. If your fingers are feeling like fine after and you want to do the advanced version, the advanced burnout is going to be intermittent hangs. All right, so for round 5, we'll leave our shirts on. We're gonna do these intermittent hangs or these repeaters. The reason we're doing this is because we're gonna add it in a style that's functional to training with a little bit of that like recruitment / impact hold. So the impact hold we're gonna do is gonna be closer to climbing, because what we're gonna do is we're not gonna worry about like the perfect position every time. We're gonna go to like a small to medium ledge. We'll have no weight, and you can just vary the difficulty by the depth of your edge. The on time for the hold is going to be 7 seconds. The off is going to be 3. If you prefer the 10 and 5 protocol, that's fine as well. So I'm not trying to like get the perfect grip. I'll show you what I mean by that next one. I'm not going to try and be like, okay, is it right here? Okay, all right, let's go again, you know? I'm not going to try and worry about that absolute perfect grip. Since I know I can do this, it's not causing pain after the first one. I want to have that impact. So see, that one wasn't perfect. I kind of slipped a little bit and I'm just gonna kind of hold, and if I let go early, that's fine. That's the point, because oftentimes in climbing, we're not gonna hit it absolutely perfect. So using that setup where you hover over just a little bit and you don't jump onto it, you're not trying to load all your body weight like a crazy person, but you train that body, you train that impact, your body will be more like prepared when we can go climbing in, because you're replicating a climbing move. Now with this, I recommend again, definitely you have to give it at least 48 hours of rest. I recommend probably even up to 72, no more than 3 times a week if you're doing all of this. Remember, the best program is one that you can do safely so that you can keep training to get stronger, not where you just overdo it, hurt yourself, and then have to wait and recover from another injury. All right, well, I hope you guys love this routine. This has been done with not my work solely, but for the works of a lot of people out there like Dr. Tyler Nelson and Dr. Eva Lopez. They've done a lot of research with this, but just remember to work it in safely with your program, write things out, plan it ahead so you know how to fit it in appropriately. And until next time, train, climb, send, repeat. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, train smart, train safe, don't hurt yourself, don't be a big old gumby and break yourself. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll start with round 1.
We're gonna take our hands to the max.
Take it to the max. But no, this will be good. I'm gonna say that because I want to be smart, right? All right.
I want to stay smart.
I want to stay smart. Right about 25%. And pay attention to how you're feeling. And I was gonna say it and I stopped myself.
Oh, hey, you're still here. Jason, they're still watching.
Oh. Heyo.
Dude, say something cool so they like the videos and subscribe for more awesome content.
Like and subscribe for more super sweet vids, y'all.
So lame, dude. So lame.
I thought it was pretty good.